Hey there, everyone. It's Brooks Gibbs again. Wow. We are sharing the little lessons of life. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about harvesting the garden. Previously, we've talked about preparing the garden, planting the garden, and now our garden has grown. It's matured, and it's brought forth fruit. Now we get to harvest the garden. So I want to share the story of harvesting the garden. There is a time and a place when the garden is ready to be harvested. And not everything harvests at the same time. Now, cherries, for example, they come in the early summer. They get ripe, and guess what? Oh man, especially those black cherries. It's so black, just a dark, deep maroon color. And if you pick them too early and you try to eat them, they're a little bit bitter because they're not quite ready yet. But when you pick them at the right time, you can pick it right off the tree and eat it. And oh my gosh, excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, the cherries may ripe early in June. But if I go over to the apple tree at that time, the apples are probably about the size of the cherry. And that's not an apple I want to eat. It has to be cared for longer to reach its harvest. There is a time and season for everything. Now, the apples won't harvest till fall. And they'll be big and ripe and ready to harvest at that time. So you go through the garden, you're going to recognize that everything has its time and place of when it's going to be mature. And you'll recognize when it has matured. And you'll know that's at a space to harvest. And you will take the time to harvest. Now, what's interesting about harvesting is it isn't meant just for you to take everything in. Because if you were to harvest and just take everything in and not pull some aside to share, or to pull seeds to be planted somewhere else, eventually you wouldn't have a garden because no new seeds to plant, new thoughts, new ideas, new opportunities, and to share in those relationships that you have with neighbors and friends so that they too can take your prize-winning pumpkin seeds and go, I would love to have that in my life. Well, here's some of my seeds. Go ahead and plant them in your garden so that you too can experience a prize-winning pumpkin. Your grandkids can come and see this pumpkin that's just as big as they are, weighs more than they do. And the excitement that you would have all came because you were willing to share your seed with someone else. That's the nature of the harvest. Being able to take something that you've grown to its full purpose, take the fruit, partake of the fruit, and save the seeds for the next planting, and to share in the benefits and the bounty of your fruit with others so that they too can find joy and happiness in the things that you've done. Now, how does that relate to you? Well, we've talked about the garden. So in your life, you've planted seeds, whether it was a relationship, a job, education, anything that you've worked on, you've invested and you've nurtured it and you've grown. And there comes a time when it will have hit its stride. It will be mature and ready for you to take the harvest and share. If that's a relationship, oftentimes you'll take that relationship and you'll share it with others in an example. As a parent, when you've matured and grown your relationship with a spouse, you share that through children. As you nurture your children up, you share that with others. You know, one of the lessons that I heard in life was great. If you want to have great children, raise their friends along with them. Because that relationship is magical. That's a matter of sharing what's going on. If it's a job, in your job, when you have learned and you're able to accomplish and do the things you want to do, your opportunity to harvest is to share with others and nurture them up and grow them as well. In anything that you've done, in an education, I've been diligent and hard working through my education, and now I've completed that education, I'm ready to go out and start doing it. Well, you're going to take that and you're going to share it at work. And you're going to share what you know and what you've learned in your environment with others. You see, the harvest is about sharing. The harvest is about giving what you've worked hard to create. Because when you give, things come back. You know that a single apple seed, not only will it produce over its lifetime if it's planted a tree, but thousands of pounds of apples, which will have created apple pies, apple slices, apple sauce, apple cider, and made so many people happy. But what else has it created? In every one of the apples that came is another seed, which when planted is another tree, which creates even more joy, bringing that back to this earth. You are the seed. And as you mature out, and as you share your harvest, you are expanding that joy and that beauty out to others so that they too can expand and grow. So, my challenge to you is recognize what's mature in your life and start sharing it with those that are around you. As you do, you're going to find great joy comes into your life, and you'll see it as it comes into the lives of those that are around you. The harvest is about taking what you've invested in and sharing it with others, and doing it freely. That is what creates the beauty and the power of growing in this earth. That's a little lesson of life. And it shows up every year when you look at the garden. What are you doing in your life to create your garden? And what are you doing to expand the garden of others? I'm Brooks Gibbs. Join me for more little lessons of life.